Hi everyone, today's video is about getting the most out of your tutor. I think this is something that is often not thought about or discussed because we kind of assume that once we have a tutor, we've essentially solved the problem. This tutor will just clear up any issues I had and things will sort themselves out. And while it might be great to show a lot of confidence in our tutors and their ability to help us learn, it's simply just not realistic. Just to step back for a moment, I want to say that having a tutor is a great opportunity. If you are consistently struggling with a course or some material, you should always consider getting a tutor. A lot of times it's just much more efficient to have someone assist you in the learning process, to help you build confidence, and to train you to become better at taking tests or completing assignments for that course or material, than for you to struggle and suffer at it alone. And even if you wouldn't consider yourself to be necessarily struggling, a tutor can still be of value. You would of course maybe not work with them as frequently or cover as many things, but they can still definitely help you maximize your learning output. Now I know tutors aren't available to everyone for every subject, and they aren't without cost in terms of time and money, but if you do have the opportunity, I just first wanted to say that they are always a good option, even for someone who has traditionally not used a tutor or felt that they didn't need one. Anyway, now to the main point of this video, which is that once you do have a tutor, how can you really make it a good and valuable experience? The points I was making about tutors being a good opportunity is more specifically about their potential rather than a guarantee. In other words, I'm not saying that every tutor you get will always be an amazing learning experience every time. But what I am saying is that the potential is always there. And to realize that potential, a lot of it has to do with the role that you play as a student. Compare your relationship as a student to a tutor to that of a patient to a doctor. When a patient is not feeling well and goes to see a doctor, the doctor will perform some diagnostic tests on the patient's body and ask the patient some questions about their symptoms, their history, different things like that. And the only way that the doctor is able to make a proper diagnosis and then be able to treat the patient properly is if the patient fully cooperates. Imagine when the doctor is trying to listen to your natural breathing pattern, you start intentionally breathing quickly and unnaturally. Or when they ask you what your symptoms were, you say you don't remember and lie about what medication you've been taking. Even the best doctor can only help you based on the information that they have, which you as the patient play a large role in forming. Much of the same dynamics of the patient-doctor relationship is in play in the tutor-student relationship. In order to help you effectively, the tutor needs to know exactly what you are struggling with. Understandably, students can feel nervous or embarrassed about having to completely open up about all of their academic weaknesses and shortcomings in front of a stranger. But hopefully, as you build more rapport and trust in your tutor, this process can become a bit easier and more natural, especially when you start to see the fruits of working on those things that you know you struggle with. The more specific and precise you can be about what you're having difficulty with, the better equipped you make the tutor to help you. So for example, if you have a tutor for your calculus class, it would be okay to say I'm struggling with the applications of derivatives, but it would be even better to say that I'm struggling with word problems of optimization questions, where I can't figure out what the function looks like from the word problem. The less time and effort your tutor has to spend in prodding and diagnosing exactly where your gap in understanding is, the more time is instead spent on explaining and practicing on concepts to close that gap. Now that's all great for the material you know you're struggling with, but sometimes we don't even know that we actually don't understand something properly. There are materials we think we understand, but we actually haven't grasped it correctly or we've oversimplified it to ourselves, and these can lead to unfortunate surprises when we take exams or do assignments. Now, if you don't know that you don't know something, how can you tell your tutor? Well, of course you can't. The best way to receive assistance with these sort of issues is to be able to freely make mistakes in front of your tutor so that they can notice them and help you correct them. In order to do this, you want to do questions and exercises in front of your tutor, simulating a test or exam so that they can see exactly how you work and your thought process. It would be even better if you can speak your thoughts or think out loud, so the tutor can get a sense of what's going on in your head, even though this can seem kind of awkward. When you do this, you want to show them your natural working process. You don't try and impress them or be confident. You want them to examine exactly how you work through questions and have them attack and critique everything you do related to the course, to find flaws and inefficiencies that will make you a better student. You want to show them exactly how you study, how you take notes, how you organize your notes, how you prepare for exams, what you do when you don't understand something. You want to put on display all of this in front of the tutor, your entire approach as a student, so that they can see where your process can be optimized for better experience and probably better results. This can sound kind of like an intimidating or unpleasant experience, but in my opinion, an effective session with a tutor is not one where you go in there and artificially feel good and confident just because you have a tutor. Instead, it's a session that you worked through exactly what you struggle with and also spotted and improved on the things that you didn't know you were doing ineffectively. Because you will come out of that actually feeling like a better student, and that will make you feel good and give you confidence. Now, one last thing I will say about tutors is don't be afraid to tell your tutor that things are not working out well in your sessions or to even change your tutor, meaning to find another tutor. I said earlier that all tutors give you a potential to have an incredible and enriching experience, but the reality is that not every tutor is the best for you. If you're not getting the sense that you're improving or learning effectively from your sessions, you need to unequivocally tell that directly to your tutor and let them know so that they can change their methods and try things differently. And if that continues to not work for you, then you are better off finding a different tutor than continuing to question your progress. The problem is that because we value the tutor's knowledge and experience so much, sometimes we are afraid to question their methods or question how things are going because we think, well, the tutor is the experienced one, I must be the problem here. If things aren't improving, it must be my fault as the student. But going back to the patient-doctor analogy, if a doctor that you see is prescribing you treatments for your problem and none of them seem to be working, at that point you are probably better off getting a second opinion from another doctor than continuing to bide your time and letting your problems remain. In the same way with a tutor, sometimes even though a tutor is trying their best with you as a student, they may just not be a good fit for you, for your learning methods, for the way you like to communicate, for the way you like to think about things. And so by ending your sessions with that tutor, you're not insulting them or putting yourself or them at fault. You're simply continuing on your search for assistance that's best for your specific needs as a student to improve and grow. So I would love to hear about your experiences with tutors and what's worked well for you in the comments. I hope this video was useful, and please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more. Until next time.